Chicken Inn finally got their scoring act together to strike early in the first half and add an assurance second later on to post an important win, their second of the season, as they seek to put their aspirations on course. Pressing at the visitors high up on the pitch, the Gamecocks were 1-0 up as early as the second minute after winning possession in Greenfuel dangerous territory. A new signing, Brighton Makopa, capitalized on a yawning gap on goal to poke home past a bemused Madea, his former teammate at Wange. A quarter of an hour later, Chicken Inn threatened again, this time George Majiga collecting a clearance from a corner to sell a dummy, but his low shot would not find a way through the forest of Greenfuel legs, congesting the visitors' box. Chicken Inn, for whom Brian Musa appeared to have paved a highway for himself on the left flank, kept threatening, and on 20 minutes, Musa dragged Lenmo Muyambo to a speed race, leaving him for dead, only for his cross to Makopa to bounce away for a goal kick. 6 minutes later, the Gamecocks thought they had doubled their lead through Itai Mabunu off a low shot in the 6-yard box, but it was disallowed as the referee had judged that the gangleg defender had hangled before striking for goal. It was from one hangling offence to another suspected infringement, again Mabunu at the scene of the crime after a deft flick of a Tino Tendameke shot caught Mabunu on his upper body, and unlike at the other end, the match referee ruled no offence and play continued. 10 minutes shy of the break, Chicken Inn had another fair opportunity to enhance their lead. Michael Charamba racing onto a long ball from the back, and with Greenfuel keeper Nedrick Madea seemingly leaving his line prematurely, Charamba nodded it over the goalie, but Brian Chikwenya was on hand to sweep it away as it threatened to trickle across the goal line. Chicken Inn were 2-0 up on the 37th minute after some magnificent switch of play from George Majiga on the left, the defining moment, Brian Chikwenya's misjudgment of Majiga's cross, allowing the dangerous Michael Charamba time and space to control and pick his spot. When that happens, there can only be one result, and Greenfuel were again picking the ball from the back of the nets for the second time on the afternoon. The goal appeared to trigger some urgency into the visitors' game, and as they reacted to circumstances, you tended to wonder why they had been so reserved with such promising play all along, allowing the hosts to dictate the pace whilst all they had done was sit back and try to contain all attacks from the hosts. Even Brian Chikwenya, for all the blame on the second goal, suddenly woke up with some offensive sense, his dipping shot not too far away from keeper Donovan Bernard's goal. 2-0 to Chicken Inn at the break, all looking good for the Gamecocks, whilst a mammoth task for Greenfuel ahead of them in the next 45. Ever wonder why Chicken Inn were back on the pitch within a few minutes after visiting the dressing room? By contrast, it makes sense that their opponents used all the official time in their attempt to fix the mess. They emerged from the dressing room to find their opponents waiting for them, and psychologically that could be intimidating. Likewise, the Gamecocks looked on top of their game after resumption, returning to threaten again on the 54th minute. A long ball from Donovan Bernard headed onto Brian Musa's path, whose angled shot trickled marginally wide of the left-hand post. Whilst Chicken Inn will be happy that they finally got the goals coming, they still showed a need for improvement, especially with finishing, notably when Makopa capitalized on a defensive slip-upper to race towards goal, Brian Musa looking a better option for an easier tap-in, but Makopa went for glory and the chance was denied by keeper Nedrick Matea's crucial block. Greenfuel's best chance of the match so far must have been a patiently worked move, utilizing both the length and width of the pitch, and when it arrived at the right wing, Reginald Chinemo swung in a cross to James Nguluve, who managed to squeeze a shot at goal despite tight attention from Arthur Chinda. Greenfuel were seeing more of the ball in the Chicken Inn half than they did in the opening 45. They did create numerous anxious moments within the Gamecocks box, but the hosts remained resolute, and the longer it remained 2-0, the better for Chicken Inn. On the 73rd minute, Chicken Inn were gunning for a third goal. Veteran Danny Dekopiri with a great pass to pick Brian Musa, who responded with an inviting low cross into the box, cut out by a Mnyarazi Diro tackle, and Greenfuel had survived. Old habits die hard, and little under 5 minutes from the end of the match, Chicken Inn were back to their old ways of bad finishing. Former Caps United defensive link Joseph Tulani storming into the visitors' box to lay a sitter for Makopa, who took forever. The ball eventually nicked away for a corner by Chikwenya. Greenfuel blew a chance for a face saver late into stoppage time after a slip-up by Itai Mabunu left James Nguluve with a clear sight of goal, but his choice of a near-post shot did not deceive keeper Donovan Bernard, and the visitors would return to Chisumbanje empty-handed. So a 2-0 victory then for Chicken Inn. It's you win some and lose some for the two teams. The Gamecocks picking themselves up from last weekend's loss to Manica, whilst Greenfuel are running out of energy to sustain a winning streak following their inspiring victory last weekend over defending champions Ngezi Platinum. What a contrast. For the Premier Soccer League at Luveve Stadium in Bulawayo, I'm Thandazani Zimbwa.